No, it doesn't. I'm not opposed to updates, but the current state of Left 4 Dead 2 is probably the best it's ever been. The modding community is still active, and the add-ons have become much more advanced as time goes on, matching even plugins, for crying out loud. And the game, without any updates in the last 5 years, still has a lot of content. So does Valve really need to make any more content updates? Especially the Valve of today, whose priorities are unknown. When a community made update becomes official, I'm not sure exactly what happens. According to the forums, and this is just me just reading the forums, the Last Stand campaign was rushed in the last 6 months of development. This is all just coming from some random person and theories made online. I'm not sure if this is true. The only people who know that are the people who worked on the Last Stand. On top of that, Valve didn't share any of the code. So Valve straight up just said, nah, we ain't doing none of the work. And if you mess up, it's on you clowns. If it was rushed, and if there was a deadline, I have to ask, why was there a deadline?
My favorite snack is the big, pink...
A dick.
Twinkies and Ho-Hos.
Yeah, what's the deal with waiting another few months or waiting another few years after waiting 10 years for an update? Again, we will never know what happened behind the development of The Last Stand. All we have is blanket statements from the forums. Some forums are completely gone and deleted. The HORDE veterans just seem to hate The Last Stand. Why? I guess they just can't stand The Last Stand update. We will never know. And it's not like Valve will take the blame, because people who don't like the update blame the community creators who made the update. I mean, how messed up is that? I'm tired of people, for some unknown reason, blaming the community on almost every mistake Valve has made, whether it be this game or TF2. These guys are being paid 6 clowning figures for damn sake. And we're going to blame the people who are working for free because they love the game? Well, I'm not sure if they work for free or they got a commission from Valve, but what type of nonsense is that? Despite that, when The Last Stand did come out, the workshop was left mostly untouched. To be fair, I don't play with that many add-ons, but from my personal experience, the only add-ons I could recall that were broken was that old leg add-on that barely worked in the first place, and the original vocalizer. I can't speak for everyone. There are people who play with over 200 add-ons, but for the most part the workshop was left untouched. And that in itself proves that maybe, just maybe, there can be an update that doesn't completely destroy the workshop. But at the same time, we have to remember that the most of The Last Stand didn't change Left 4 Dead 2 that much. Who knows what will happen if we get an update that isn't primarily focused on survival. The reality is, The Last Stand mostly fixed god spots, exploits, view model fixes, nothing extreme in terms of adding new content. Yeah, we got new survival maps, but those were built upon what we already had in the game. The guns that were added were already in the game before The Last Stand came out, and the melees didn't really change up anything. It was a pretty safe option to add these melees, since there's not much to adding melees. Just don't make them too fast. If we learned anything from The Last Stand, it's that it is possible to make updates for Left 4 Dead 2. But since it's the only example we have, we will never be 100% sure about what outcome can result in terms of changing Left 4 Dead 2. And if you didn't like the Last Stand update, you can always just download add-ons to fix that. That's why it's important to all of us that these updates primarily focus on keeping the workshop safe. You can also make the argument that it's up to the creator to update their add-ons, but let's be honest, the chances of that happening are so rare that it's not fair to bring up that argument when it comes to bringing out updates. This goes for every game with updates. Minecraft, if that game comes out with an update, guess what? The mod has to update for that certain version. Vermintide 2 is a prime example of big updates coming out for the game, and the add-ons are left behind and the creators need to update the add-on, which never almost happens. And especially Roblox. Every time that game brings up a major update, guess what happens? Old games get completely wrecked and destroyed, and they don't even work. RIP to all the old Roblox games. I'm not saying that those games should stop making content updates just because it breaks a lot of fan-made stuff. I'm just simply stating that updates can, without a doubt, destroy freaking mods, which can be a big deal for a lot of people, especially in Left 4 Dead 2, because those mods have been in the game longer than whatever update is coming out. So it is important to respect the workshop, because those workshop add-ons have earned their place in the game. They've been in the game for so long, and having an update that could break the freaking game, which the update could have probably been contained inside of a freaking workshop collection. I'm just saying all the things that could go wrong, but as we saw in The Last Stand, it went pretty fine through my standards. Nothing got broken. We have zero clue on what's going on in Valve's HQ. Their priorities are not in their old games, I'll tell you that much. Wanting updates means Valve will have to play a role in any update that is created by the community. And everyone knows that Valve is just clowning around with updates to their old games, especially community made updates. On top of that, how they handled The Last Stand, it's important to remember that Valve just clowns around whenever an update like that is coming out for their old games. It's just as clear as day. And that doesn't go for Left 4 Dead 2, that goes for almost every Valve game. Yeah, I get it. They're making a new game! Holy crap! But it's like people put on blindfolds after all the horrible choices they've made over the years. Am I saying that Valve will mess games up or that Valve's a bad company? No, not saying that. They're not perfect, but their priorities are definitely not in their old games anymore. The workshop has been out for so long that mod creators have perfected all forms of adding content into the game. Animation reworks, maps, anime girls that have jiggle physics that work. It's insane. Now, updates have to catch up. And unlike TF2 where add-ons stay only in community servers or whatever testing realm they go on, I'm not familiar with TF2 add-ons. Left 4 Dead 2 add-ons are instant and can be played anytime, anywhere, regardless if your teammates have add-ons. There is zero restrictions, unlike TF2 where if you join a community server, you have to download their community add-ons. And TF2 mods require a lot more effort to download than Left 4 Dead 2 add-ons. Left 4 Dead 2 add-ons are literally one click away. So what does this mean for an update like The Last Stand? Well, they already have a standard, which is Valve standards, which is already pretty high. But that already brings a huge responsibility. It's official content now. And with that comes an extreme responsibility by nature. Whatever the update comes out with, it becomes permanent for everyone's game. Meanwhile, an add-on pack like the Nightmare mod, for example, that may as well be an entire update in itself. That could be an update, but it doesn't have to be. It can be downloaded. It could just be in a collection. If you want to play it, you can just download it. You don't have to enforce it upon anybody else. And if you don't like it, you can just delete it off your game. No permanent damage, no risk, no responsibility. And that's the problem with add-ons versus updates. The reality is, the workshop has just set such a high standard that I don't even think Valve can match. I mean, there are maps and add-ons that completely change Left 4 Dead 2 on a whim. Maps that are so visually beautiful that they make Left 4 Dead 2's original campaigns pale in comparison. How in the world is any update supposed to match? It's just not fair, unless they hire those same workshop creators, which is what they did for The Last Stand. If the theories about The Last Stand campaign being rushed is real, then why even make community made updates? Why rush something when you could take as long as you need with an add-on collection like the Nightmare mod? Hell, that mod is still being updated to this day. It really brings up the question, if an update can be rushed, which for an example, TF2 updates are rushed, like the Invasion freaking update. That update was rushed. If Valve rushes an update, a community made update, what's the point of even making them community made? Or maybe Valve isn't rushing them at all. Maybe it's just the community feeling the pressure of the community themselves. I don't know the reason behind why something can be rushed if it's community made. Whatever it is, whatever the backstory is, it's nonsense. We should also talk about when updates come out, they do fix things. The Last Stand fixed a bunch of god spots and weird exploits. There's a small minority that has said that these bugs and glitches have been in the game for so long that they shouldn't be changed. They have become a part of Left 4 Dead 2 culture. This brings up another question. What about the things that genuinely affect the game that we see all the time? Like bee hopping, a hunter being able to fly on whatever this is. The Last Stand brought a tough question to answer. What bugs are worth fixing? Which ones are not worth fixing? And is exploiting skillful? The average Left 4 Dead 2 fan that can't bee hop yet defends it will say, well, other Valve games have bee hopping. If you can't bee hop or you can't deal with it, it's a skill issue. Regardless, Valve didn't intend it to be in the game, so doesn't that mean that it should be fixed? God spots weren't meant to be in the game, so who has the right to judge what deserves to be fixed in the game or not?
I know one thing.
They should have fixed the melee hit reg. That's for sure. I'm pretty sure no one cares about the console players, but I'd like to mention them because some of my commenters are console players. They just left out of everything. Add-ons, updates, it's depressing. Being a console player, you're basically playing the old untouched version of Left 4 Dead 2, which is kind of cool in a way. Left 4 Dead 2 has been mostly left untouched, and the choice to change it has always been left to the player. The Last Stand changed the game, but in a safe manner. When we look at other Valve titles for examples of what updates can do to a game, it might not be the best course to set Left 4 Dead 2 on. No one knows what will happen if Left 4 Dead 2 were to get constant community made updates. Could be bad, it could be good, but if we add up the evidence of the past games that Valve has updated, all we see is a clown fiesta, and that is nonsense.